these things are way better for you. And, and that's why when I suggest doing a hydration drink, it's, don't go out and spend all this money and crap on all of these rehydration drinks. I go, just use orange juice, some water, some coconut water, some salt, some gelatin, and you're good. You don't need to be spending all this money on all these crappy drinks. Then you have it right here in your pantry already, it tastes a lot better.
And I know and you know what? Juice is just so yummy. I just love at lunch I have a juice, at dinner I have a juice, sometimes afternoon tea, heaps of ice.
Yeah.
It just tastes so amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it like, even if I work out, I mean, I put some water in there too, but it just tastes so much better. And, and I found, and I have clients, I'm like, you don't eat enough. So I just okay, just do this all day. Just drink some juice, some coconut water, a little salt, gelatin, and sip on it all day long. And they're like, hey, I find out I don't pee 100,000 times when I just, if you drink this over water, you'll pee way less because now your body will actually keep the water versus pissing it all out. But they're not as hungry. Their blood sugar stays more regulated, and so it balances a lot more. And so it's a very easy thing to do and utilize this great fruit and juice, to help yourself. Now,
while we're on juice, the topic of juice, what other juices would you recommend or not recommend, and why?
Well, guava juice is good. Grape juice is good. I think it has a higher sugar content than orange juice. So you kind of have to just make sure you know what you're getting. I sometimes use cherry juice, watermelon juice, tangerine juice, all the citrus fruits. Those would probably be the main ones that I would utilize. Probably the one you want to avoid would be carrot juice, just from the high beta carotene content, because when you're getting in that juice form, you're going to absorb a lot more beta carotene. If you are in more of a hypothyroid state, you're not going to be able to utilize the beta carotene. You can't convert it. So you'll store it in the tissue. You'll see that in all the orange people around, so eat your carrots, not your juice.
What about apple? What about apple juice? People ask me a lot about apple.
Some people can do well on apple because it has a lot of fructose in it. So for them, especially in the beginning, it doesn't help with it's not as blood sugar dysregulating because of the high fructose content. But I don't like to use it a lot later on. I think because it is high in pectin. And so I usually push them away. But initially, some people will do quite well on that because, again, it has that higher fructose content.
Now let's talk about, because people often ask me, why pulp-free, Kitty? Why do you always drink this pulp-free juice? Because, isn't the fiber so good? And everyone craps on about, you got to have the fiber in there.
Right. Well, it's the same. Yeah. I mean, it's pulp-free because, again, if you put the pulp in there, it makes it a lot harder to digest. And, the pulping or the orange juice industry, I think put all the pulp back in there just because they didn't know what the hell to do with it. It's like, hey, it's high in fiber. Like, everyone have this now. And, and it's just waste. It's just, a waste product that they put in there and then created an industry around telling you it was healthy for you. But again, it's just feeding bacteria. So, and I know I remember talking to Danny Roddy about this because he lives in Mexico now. And he's like, everybody here, in the juice bars, they strain the juice 2 times up in Mexico, and I'm like, no.
So good.
Everyone here, it's like pulp, pulp, and you just see it all laying on the bottom. And I'm like, so, I mean, we do have obviously some good pulp-free juices here, but, you have to be careful because a lot of them put enzymatic substances in there. They actually don't remove the pulp. They put something in there that dissolves the pulp. So then you're getting that crap.
Crazy.
So, be careful if you're not juicing your own about what's in your orange juice.
Well, in Australia, one of my favorite brands is Nudie, and they actually, because they do a pulp-free one and it's just juice, no other crap in it, no preservatives, no vitamins, added vitamin C. Because obviously you always want to look for just fresh juice, nothing else added. But they have a version where it's double pulp, so they must take all the pulp out. What are some good brands? Like in Australia, we recommend there's Aldi have got a pulp-free brand that has no preservatives or additives, no extra vitamin C. And we have Nudie. Oh, we have one at Coles that does one. What are the brands where you live that are good?
The one I use is Matt's. I think it comes out of Florida. And Trader Joe's actually has a decent pulp-free one here that I think, a lot of people do well on. A lot of the organic, expensive brands here are all pulp. So if you get them, I mean, they taste good, but you've got to strain them yourself. And I don't like straining juice. So But I mean, you know, I have some people swear to me that it makes all the difference in the world if they juice themselves and strain it themselves. I mean, it is more of a live food, and it is a lot better for you. So, you know, you kind of have to find what works for you.
I've noticed whenever I've drunk pulpy orange juice, gassy. Like I'm just like immediately gassy. So you can feel the effects straight away.
Yeah.
Versus when I,
your body's not digesting all that crap. I mean,
the cellulose, right? Like it's the pulps. So your body doesn't make the enzymes to break it down.
Yeah. And, you know, and again, I mean, it's not all, but it's certainly if you have some gut issues that, you know, those are things that you want to avoid. I mean, even in people that have actually clinically, you know, gut issues where they have IBS or colitis, I mean, they're told to avoid these high fibrous foods. So it's not that this isn't unknown. It's just that, you know, a lot of us are having we might not be that severe, but if you want to clean up your gut and not be so bloated all the time, it's something to actually think about.
And it's like, because we're very much about like testing and measuring in our program. So I always say to clients, like, just get the ripest fruit possible, get in-season fruit, and then just test it. So if you can eat oranges, whole oranges with no issues, bananas, you know, apples, and you have no issues, keep eating them. You know, because some people are like have really good, I've got pretty solid guts, you know, like, and if you can eat it and have an orange, you know, like just eat it. It's just, it's really about finding what works for you and testing. And if you eat it and it makes you gassy or constipated or bloated, then probably, you know, you can't handle all that fiber. You know, so it's not really like, because I think people look at us and they're like, oh, it's so restrictive. I'm like, well, it's not really. It's just, you can eat anything, but it's about testing it and seeing what's optimal for your body.
And I think that's a good point, because I think some people like especially they read my book and it's just like, all you can have is orange juice and milk and cheese and a liver. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not what it says. And, you know, and I think there's something to, you know, I think you should be able to eat anything. If you are metabolically healthy, you should be able to consume and do anything you want. You should be able to go to different cultures and be able to eat different foods and be able to tolerate it. You know, if you become one of those people that only eats orange juice, milk, and liver, then that's probably a problem. You know, that's not really a good diet. It's a really restrictive and probably eating disorder like diet. But when you are not healthy and you have some metabolic issues going on, there is a way to kind of build yourself back up into a healthy status. And sometimes it is avoiding certain foods or restricting them for a while until you can get your body working better for you, so that you can utilize and break down foods better and, you know, and be able to process things without a lot of issues. So it's just a process. You know, it doesn't mean you can't have anything. And I'm sure you tell people the same thing. It's just a matter of where are you at, you know, and you know, like, and they say the best diet for you is the one you're going to do. Right. So you got to find out what's going to work for you. And if that works, and then if you decide, well, I really want to get here and improve my health this way, I'm like, okay, so we might have to shift a few things to get you there, or whatever that looks like right now. And nothing is forever. You know what I said? I go, nothing's forever on this. It's just getting you where you want to go. And then when we get there, reevaluating and seeing where we need to go next.
Yeah, I think too, it's like it's funny, like I'll find with women in the program that they'll come in and they'll change all their eating habits and they'll start to feel really, like Craig loves to use the word, optimized. And then they'll have a little fall off the wagon. I know I saw this lady posting the Facebook page, like she had a few drinks and then she ended up eating shit, like takeaway food. And she's like, she was like, I just felt so shit for the next 2 or 3 days, because she's like, I didn't realize. She's like, this is how I used to be all the time. I used to feel like this all the time. This was the norm. Then I started to change all my eating and I felt really optimized and really awesome. And then sometimes it's good, I think, for you to slip back and go, well, you know, this is how I feel. And I, you know, like I eat I don't have a huge amount of variety, because I've found the foods that I like, that I really like, and that make me feel really good. And I'm like, I just don't really feel like eating other foods.
Yeah.
Like I never sit there and think like, oh, I'd really like to have, I mean, I've got hot chips in my air fryer, ice cream, you know, orange juice.
Pizza. I mean, I have to have pizza once. And you know what? I didn't eat pizza for like 5 years when I didn't eat bread or any of those things. I mean, there's so many things I love that I never would eat. I would just be like, you know, but now I eat whatever I want. And when I want, with the basis of what I eat is substantially and supported through foods I know that work well for me. You know, I know what works well. And when I have a meal here and there that doesn't really go within these standards, I usually do completely fine.
I think too, it's like
I
just,
don't have issues.
yeah, choosing good quality. Like we'll eat pizza too, but we get like from our little local bakery, homemade sourdough bases, and we'll get chicken and good quality cheese and pineapple and, quality food and ingredients. And when I eat that versus if I went down and got a Domino's, I just feel so much better. And it's delicious too, versus doing the chips in the air fryer with coconut oil, going to KFC and getting chips cooked in vegetable oil.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I know people that do that, sometimes that's what they do. And if that's what makes their heart sing and they feel okay and they want to do that here, then, again, I mean, I think we have to get away from thinking it's so restrictive, because I don't think it is. It is just eating things that we know are going to help you with wherever you're at right now in your health, and then introduce things. And the thing is, your mindset will change as you progress through this eating way. It shifts, you change. Nothing ever really becomes hard, because you always think, well, I can't have this forever. The first thing you're going to want is that thing. So it's like, okay, is what I want better than having this thing for right now? So yeah. And then in 30 days, you might shift your thinking. I know we both come from worlds where we used to party and used to drink, and all those things were really important to us. And, once you start getting healthy, you don't care about those things as much. It shifts.
Oh,
although that was all fun.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. It was fun. Mel and I often talk about, we're like, we love to go out and just get really drunk and really high again, because it is really fun. Obviously we're not going to do that, but it's too hard. You just feel too shit. But no, that's awesome. Thanks so much. Hopefully we've, cleared up a few of the misconceptions around juice. I'm going to actually probably go now, and I'm really hungry. It's 9 o'clock. It's bang on time for my morning tea. I'll probably go and have some juice and some cheese. But is there anything else you want to add that you don't think we've covered?
No, other than, like I said, go slow when you add, and find one you enjoy, and test and measure it, just like you said. But it's not a bad food. We don't need to perceive it as a bad food. I mean, it's a wonderful food. And I think once most people reintroduce it, they're like, God, I can't believe I didn't have this for so long.
It's the greatest. I just love orange juice. I can't imagine not having it now. Well, have an awesome holiday, Kate, and we'll catch up with you when you get back.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
Thanks,
Bye.
Katie.
Bye.